What's up, guys? It's Jacob Cypher here, and this is my first tutorial on this channel. Photography the African way. Yo, doing photography the African way. So today I'm going to be doing I'm going to be retouching one of my outdoors. So I've been getting a lot of comments from people who have seen my outdoor pictures and they're like, wow, Jacob Cypher, I love your work. I said thanks. So today I'm going to show you guys how I basically edit my outdoor pictures. So this is the first tutorial for this channel and I hope you guys like it. So first of all, I'm going to start by importing the image. Okay guys, so we are here in Camera Raw. So Camera is a great tool. It's really great. I use it most of the times when I don't have time to start opening up Lightroom before I come back to Photoshop. And actually it works quite good because I don't really see any difference between Camera and Lightroom. So what I'm going to be doing here basically is I'm going to be color balancing, color grading. I do everything from the very start. So I'm going to be doing all that right now. So what I'll do first is to add a little vibrance into because it looks a little desaturated. So I'm going to add vibrance. I'm going to pop up colors that way. Wow, just look at that. Yeah, it just looks done already. As you can see here, this particular image was shot with Nikon D7 200 at an ISO of 100 and an aperture of 5.6 and shutter speed of 160th of a second. The image was shot with an 18 to 140 millimeter lens and it was shot at the focal length of 440. That's it was completely zoomed out. So this is a tip I'm going to be giving you guys now. People say I love shallow depth of fields, but I don't have prime lenses. Well, I'm telling you now, most, did I just say most? Like all of my shots, outdoor pictures were taken with this lens, the 18 to 140 millimeter lens. So what I basically do is I set the aperture to as large as it can open. So that should be 5.6. If the lens is zoomed out, it can't go larger than 5.6. So I keep it at 5.6. Then I zoom out the lens, completely zoomed out. Then I step away from the subject. So that way I get that blurry background. So after increasing the vibrance, the next thing I would really want to do is increase my clarity to about 5. Yeah, you won't really notice the change, but let's just leave it at that. So what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? Set for think. Oh, I'm going to bring out my shadows. Yeah, so this looks great. So what I'm basically doing here, I really love the way the sun comes in from this side, this angle, and it's not that much visible, but I can see it. So I really love it to come out, to pop out, to like this very noticeable. So what I would do is I'll pick up my adjustment brush. Yeah, then what I would do is I'll increase the size by pressing the, is it called square brackets? Yeah, square brackets, the close square brackets. So then I'll increase the size. And what I'll do is I'll come to my white balance adjustment. Then I'll drag this way. Then I'll just click here once. Yeah, maybe click quite a few times. And I'll just increase the exposure there a little bit. Yeah. But I think that's too much, so I'll just bring it down a little. Then take this way. So it kind of feels like the sun is coming down from that side. That's the effect I'm trying to get in this particular image. So after doing that, I'll go back to the zoom tool And what am I going to do now? Yeah, I think I'm going to tweak the colors a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the HSL slash grayscale adjustments, and what am I going to do here? Okay, let's try something. Let's just bring up the blues to this side, and wow, it's totally changed that color. So let's take it back a little bit because that was, I think that was too much. Yeah, I think here looks fine. Then I will definitely pop up the yellows. Yeah, but I'll bring down the oranges because I don't want the picture looking too red. Yeah, too oversaturated when I put it on my Android phone or whatever I'm going to put it on, or when I upload it on social media. So I'm going to come here and let's tweak this a little bit and see what we get. Yeah, actually we're looking for that golden hour effect, that golden hour feel. So we really want the grays to look a little bit yellowish, but I don't think we're getting much of that effect. So but I'll just leave it at this. Yeah, so after doing that, what will I do again? I think that will be off now. Would have loved to add the sharpness, but I'll just leave it at that. So what I'm going to do now is I would have saved this image for editing. This way, this is how I save it. I save it same location, and document name. Yeah, it's going to keep this name. Then I save in TIFF instead of JPEG or Photoshop or digital negative. I use TIFF. So I keep all the metadata. That's the camera, the ISO, everything else just sticks with the file. So my color space, what I would usually use is Profoto RGB, because that's like the highest quality you can get. But I'm using Adobe RGB because I don't really see the effect. Well, I know professional photographers do use Profoto when editing instead of Adobe RGB. But actually, that would be like makes the image, the files too large, and sometimes it gets too slow when I'm working on them on my system. So I'll just use the Adobe RGB. The depth 16-bit, always edit in 16 bits. Yeah, maybe I'll probably do a video about this some other time, but not now. I'll advise you use 16 bits channel instead of 8 bits. Yeah, so I think that's probably it. Then I click save, but I'm just going to import this image directly. So I'll just open image. So that might take a little time depending on your processor. And so yeah, our image is now ready to be edited. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crop this image down to the size that I want. So I'll pick up the crop tool, and I basically use 4 by 5. And the reason behind this is I upload most of my images on Instagram. So I like to use the recommended size for Instagram pictures when editing. So if you look at this image, it looks a little bit slanted to the right. Yeah, so it looks like she's not standing straight. So I would bring my mouse pointer to here, to this angle, and sort of like click, then drag it to the left, like tilt. Yes, I'll probably tilt it this way, then bring it, click, then bring it down like this. Yeah, there are tons of ways that you can straighten images in Photoshop. Maybe I'll do a video on that too, so you can see the image looks a little bit straightened compared to how it was before. So I'll just correct this, the two whites showing here by using the clone stamp tool, and I'll just click, hold Alt, sample by clicking, then painting over it. Yeah, so that's done. So I can see softbox still showing here a little bit. So I'll just sample this tree and cover it up. So yeah, we've done a really great job. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going into retouching. Yeah, I'm not going to do that much of a great job with retouching because I don't want to waste time on this image. I just want to show you guys how I edit and how I do my outdoors. So let's just open this up. This is the Ultimate Retouch panel. It's actually a plugin. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below so I can download this for free. Yes, just take that as a giveaway from photography the African way. So what I basically do with Ultimate Retouch is I use the 2FS Gaussian. I don't know if it's called Gaussian or Gaussian. I really know, but I use it to. That's the normal frequency separation I think most people use. Like just click, yeah, you just click once and it does the job. So I'm just going to wait for everything to pop up and yeah, I'm going to input my radius. So this image was zoomed. I used the zoom lens and it doesn't do well with details when you zoom it all out and you have to step away from your subject. So using there's not much texture, not much detail in her skin. So I wouldn't want to like use a high blur radius for this image. So I'll definitely use something like 2.5. Yeah, because I just want to smoothen out things and make it look great. So I just hit OK and it works the magic. Yeah, so we're done. So I'm going to zoom into the image, probably starting with her forehead. Yeah, starting with her forehead. And I'll just set my, let me set this to default so that I can redo the settings from the beginning. And where to do this again? Reset to, yeah. So this is how the mixer brush comes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click here to cancel color because I don't want to be mixing colors into my picture. Yeah, I don't want something like this. It actually mixes the color here into the picture. This is what I wouldn't want. So I'll click this to cancel the color. Then set my wetness to 1 and my loads leave it at 75, my mix leave it at 90, my flow leave it at 50. Yes, so that's great. So let's start working on it. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit so I don't waste you guys time. Yeah, so I'm done retouching. So I'm sorry for being so fast because this is not a retouching tutorial. So I didn't really want to waste much time on retouching. So I think this looks great. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is to whiten her eyes and her teeth just to make the image look much beautiful. So that's what a lot of people don't seem to realize. I see a lot of people edit portraits and do beauty retouching and they do great images. Then the eyes just look dull and it just makes your image looks really bad. But when you whiten the eyes and teeth, just a little bit of it can transform your image into something worth viewing. So I'm just going to do that. I have created an action that I use for that by just pressing F5. So maybe I might leave this in the description. I might leave a link for it in the description so that you guys can get it and use it for free. So now F5 has worked the magic. The eye whitening is ready. What I do here is I use a photo filter. I change it from warming 85 to cooling filter LBB. Then I set density to 8. Then I increase the brightness just a little bit. Use 5. Then I use hue saturation adjustment layer. Then I take it to minus 100. Then I just crop everything and mask it. So what we're doing now is I'll use the brush tool. I'll adjust the size and I'll be painting with the white areas of the eye. Yeah, I'll be painting the white areas of the eyes and also the teeth this way. Yeah, like people have tons of ways of doing this. I see people use black and white. I see people use gradient map. Black, that's the black and white gradient map. I see people use a lot of things to create this whitening teeth and eye effect. But I tend to use this more. Yeah, so that's that. So this is where we've come so far. This is the before and the after. Yeah, did little bit, didn't do that much to be touching, but I think it looks fine. So what am I going to do now? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make her pop, like make her stand out of the background. So my most frequently used technique for this effect is the, what is it called, elliptical marquee tool. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now after selecting the elliptical marquee tool is I'm going to create a new layer. Let's create a new layer and I'll just drag it this way. Yeah, on the new layer, remember, on the new layer. So I'm going to right click and transform selection, not transform, not freeze, transform selection. It's going to transform this selection only, and even if this was done on any other layer, it wouldn't have affected what's on the layer because it's transforming just the selection. So I'm going to drag it to here, then take it up a little, then drag it down this way. Yeah, so I'm going to okay that. Then what I'll do is I'll pick up the paint bucket tool. Yeah, click in the bucket. I'm going to click here once and it's going to fill the selection with white. Ctrl D to deselect, and what I'll do is I'll come to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur, and I'll take it this far. Yeah, you just click the thumbnail while holding Control on the keyboard and hold Shift Control then I to inverse the selection. So I'm going to create a new layer again, and I'll probably drag this one under the first layer. Then instead of using the white color, I'll use the black. I use black color now and click once. That will fill it up. And what I'll do now is Ctrl D to deselect. Then I'll go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and just blow it out that way. And let's just wait for that to load and we'll be ready to go. Okay, great. So we are done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the blend mode from normal so soft light, and I'm going to change the blend mode of this one from normal to overlay. Yeah, so I know this looks fake and it looks bad, so what am I going to do about that? Just reduce the opacity. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of this to like here, reduce the opacity of this to here, and yeah, I think I've got up. Yeah, I think I've got something that looks much better. So I'm going to just reduce the opacity to general opacity, the two layers. And I think this looks great. This looks great. So I might just want to paint this areas out because her hands look too dark. So increase to change the foreground color to black. Change the foreground color to black. Now just paint here to reduce the darkness because the arms look too dark for me. Yeah, like I said before, this is not a retouching tutorial, so I would have loved to do a dodge and burn, but since this is not a retouching tutorial, I'll just I'll just go with what I have. Now I'm going to do what? Yeah, I think this is basically it. But I might just want to do something else as well. And what would that be? Just introduce a little bit of teal and orange to this picture. Most of you are probably wondering what's teal and orange again. Well, teal and orange is a color grading technique. It is used a lot even in movies. Well, in case if you don't know, the color grading that was used for the Joker, the guy that laughs a lot. Yeah, the color grade that was used for that movie was teal and orange, and probably a lot of other movies that you've probably watched but didn't notice. So, since I'm going to be introducing a little bit of teal and orange to this image, I'll just hold Control Shift Alt and E. Yeah, that's a merging all visible layers, but turning the whole thing to a new layer. I'm not merging it completely. I'm like duplicating, just like taking a screenshot of all the layers, then turning it to a single layer. So what I will do now is I'll open up my camera raw by holding Control Shift A, and that's loading. Just let it load up. Yeah. So in camera raw, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the camera calibration, and what I'll do here is I'll just increase the hue for red primary to about 60. Yes, then I'll decrease the rule that applies to your blue primary should be set to minus the number you're using in your red primary's hue. So we're going to set this to minus 60, and boom, reduce the saturation for the reds because I wouldn't want the reds to be too saturated when I put this on my phone. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit, like minus 810 is perfect. So I'll probably hit OK and just let that load up. Yeah, it's loading, and boom, this is what we have. We have a teal, an orange look on our image, and it looks fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, let's see the before and after. Yes, let's see the before and after. This is the before, this is the after. By just adding that makes the image look so great. Yeah, like in the movies. Yeah, I've noticed Nollywood has started doing a lot of Orange and Teal as well. And before I used to notice it in a lot of music videos, but then I don't know if they've stopped using it or what, but I don't see it that much these days. So this is just it. Yeah, so I'll just introduce this to here and Control T to transform, Alt and Shift, then drag it down this way and hit OK. Then just drop it wherever I want to drop it. Yeah, so that looks fine for me. So I might wanna maybe reduce the opacity for my orange and teal layer a little bit. Yeah, and maybe just reduce the introduce the curves adjustment layer to reduce the brightness layer. Yeah. So now I have something like this. Okay, so this is basically how I edit my outdoor pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would love you to drop a comment in the comment section below on the kind of video, kind of tutorial you want me to do next. So if you like this video, I urge you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't get to miss anything from photography the African way. So thanks for watching. See you guys next weekend.